General, we were on page 60 of the WhatsApp chats. And I think my question to you before we break was whether you agree that it's not appropriate for a senior law enforcement official in your position to be interacting with an alleged criminal, which by now you knew, in the way you were interacting on the 13th of May when you were advising him to sue another arm of law enforcement? That was my question to you.
According to me, it is not inappropriate. You know, commissioners, the communication on this page, I know we did deliberated on it earlier. Commissioners, when you have a serious sympathy with a person who has lost this huge tender of 360 million, I believe that in the case of a reasonable person, to show that this person has got interest with inappropriate actions, or one would say in response when you get this type of a message. Although I said this is so sad, it leaves one with no choice but to seek legal advice, one will also say, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Where are you? I will come and get you. Please don't do anything. I'll come and assist you. I know so and so and so, but I am coming. If you are home on this day, I'm coming so that we can deal with these things. So you will see those type of issues, and that it will result in someone. It will be a clear indication of someone who knows that he is benefiting here. So to show that I don't have even a beneficial relationship with Mr. Matlala, this tender is a huge amount of money. It didn't bother me to say, let me put my work or my life on the line here, but only to say it's normal and it's a common cause that seek legal advice, take them on. It was done out of context of that brotherly advice and say, this is what the process you must follow. But if it was a person who had serious interest as well as beneficiary in order to protect this gentleman, one would have acted otherwise than what I have done. So this, for me, it was not inappropriate, commissioners. Thank you.
See, the question I'm asking you is not about, let's accept for argument's sake that you were not benefiting. That's not the question. The question is, in your position, you're engaging with someone who you know to be alleged of serious criminal activity, and you encourage him to litigate against another law enforcement arm on a contract that you are already aware is highly problematic. That's the question. So regardless of whether you benefit or not, I'm talking more to what your duty is. You say there was no duty incumbent upon you to refrain from that kind of behavior.
My behavior was not inappropriate. The issue of interdicting the police and what, that he got it from his own counsel or advocate in this in this page 60, where he told me already, before I said seek legal advice, he has already sought that according to my interpretation of these messages, commissioners. And I've said it before we go on lunch, that when you read that one that says true, my advocate advised I should make interdict within 48 hours. Not General Senona says I should make interdict within 48 hours.
Now my mic works. Can I just ask my question? General, if you had said to him, this is so sad and it leaves one with a choice, but no choice but to seek legal advice. If you had stopped there, I would likely not have had any difficulty with that, because on the face of it, you are not advocating for any position. He's got a termination letter, and all you would be saying to him would have been, go and speak to your lawyer, right? I would probably not have a difficulty with it. The difficulty arises when you say, with a view to challenge the decision. So you're edging him in a particular direction. You've seen the letter, you've seen the grounds for cancellation. You say, take advice with a view to challenge. So you're suggesting to him a positive course of action with a view to challenge. That's the one difficulty I have with it. The second is when he says, I've been to a lawyer and they are doing an interdict, preparing an interdict application. You then say, take them on, brother. And I think you fairly, in our earlier discussion, accepted that is to encourage him in the course that he has chosen to follow, to go to court, and now you're encouraging him. My difficulty with it is that you don't want to concede, and if you haven't been asked that way, I'm going to put it to you, that you don't seem to appreciate that there's a conflict of interest that this communication presents, because this is your employer and you're telling a service provider to go to court and fight your employer. That to me seems to be a conflict of interest that should have been obvious to you. And if at that time it wasn't obvious to you, I would be disappointed that today you don't see the conflict of interest. Now that it is being discussed with you and being formulated this way, if you say, no, there's no conflict of interest in my encouraging a service provider to sue my employer, then I get concerned that you don't seem to appreciate what conflict of interest means in this kind of situation. So to the extent that I must ask you a question is, do you accept, now at least as you sit there, that on the face of it at least, the position that you take in these WhatsApp messages, which is he must seek legal advice with a view to challenge, which is a positive advice to him, and then you encourage him to take them on, that on the face of it suggests that there is a conflict of interest between your interest in your friend's troubles and your employer's business. Do you at least accept that now?
Commissioners, this is the interpretation of the commissioners. But where I'm sitting, when I say with a view to challenge that this decision, with my words, even if I said take them on, brother, the person who advised Mr. Matlala with regard to the interdict and the sort of civil claim is his lawyer. As for me, I was saying challenge the decision. My interpretation was that maybe it can be reversed in my own mind, and I only wrote him this, and then wrote him this, and I left it there. It is a common cause that somewhere in our line of duty, people will come and seek advices.
No,
of certain things,
General,
Commissioner.
no, I have to stop you. I've asked you a direct question. Please answer my question. Don't tell me what happens in life in general.
Okay.
I've asked you a specific direct question. As you sit there, do you or do you not accept that this email exchange that I have raised with you, on its face, suggests that you had a conflict of interest between your friend's business and your employer's business?
I don't see it as a conflict of interest.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Sasson?
Thank you. So, and then General, you continue, as I said, when he confirms that he's going to take...
Oh, before you move on, I'm very sorry, Ms. Hassan. General, before lunch and even now, I think just before Commissioner Baloyi asked you a question, you seemed to suggest that it's as good as if you introduced nothing new because Mr. Matlala himself, that is when you suggested that he should seek legal advice. You said you basically suggested nothing new because sort of downplaying that, because Mr. Matlala himself told you that his advocate had advised him that he should interdict what had been done. I think you are inverting what actually happened, because when you said what you said to him, that is, he must seek legal advice on the issue with a view to challenging the decision, you did not know how he was going to respond. So it's immaterial how he then responded, and it's on that basis that your reasoning is inverted. What's your comment? It doesn't make sense, basically.
Commissioners, I did write this and follow thereafter. It is within 1 minute. He told me through my advocate advised I should make interdict.
But you did not know what his response was going to be. You did not know that he had already sought legal advice. You did not know what his lawyers were going to advise him. So from where you were standing or sitting, when you said what you said, what subsequently transpired was immaterial.
I just gave I'm looking for a better word.
The short point, General. The short point is, it's. I'm sorry for this language. It may sound harsh. It's totally nonsensical to rely on what he said with regard to what you yourself had said before. Do you accept that?
No, Commissioner, because even the harsh words are very much disturbing. However, what I have said, I've just advised him to seek legal advice. And then subsequent to his answers, I didn't know how he will seek, how is he going to deal with this matter. But when he told me, I said, seek legal advice with a view to challenge. Here it is. I am not disputing it. But now it is interpreted otherwise. But when I look at his response, of which the commissioners doesn't want this to be read in conjunction with what I've said, already this thing has happened from me, although I didn't know before that it has happened, commissioners. So I don't have a better explanation than the one I have given to the commissioners. That is my response and submission to my commissioners.
Thank you, General. Yes, Ms. Hassan.
Okay, so you thank him after he confirms that's what he's doing. And then, if you turn to page 62, You send to Mr. Matlala the contact number for Minister Cele, is that right?
Correct, Commissioners.
And why do you do that?
It is because he requested the contact details of the minister.
When did he request that?
I believe it should be on the 14th. I believe it should be on the 14th because he asked for them. When he called me, he asked for it, and then I just forwarded the number of the minister.
Did you speak about anything else in that phone call other than...
No, he was asking for he asked me for the telephone number of the former minister, and then from there, I didn't even ask why are you looking for, because I knew they were in communication before, and then I just forwarded it to him.
So you assisted him by giving him the contact detail for Minister Cele?
He asked for it, I gave him.
You gave it to him?
Yes.
So, I mean, I think this, again, it goes to the point that the chair was asking, which is that right up until the last communication you could have before he was arrested, you were providing assistance to Mr. Matlala. Why were you taking his calls, for example, if you were cutting ties with him?
I've already given my response to that. But taking calls is not in my culture to just drop other people's calls. But I've already given my response that gradually I was doing that. The commissioners have asked me, they were very robust with me before we go on lunch. I gave my response. They gave I want to say their opinion or the way they are taking it, and then it was closed.
That's fine if that's how you want to answer it, but the question, General, is not whether it's in your culture to cut ties with people. It's about your duties as a senior law enforcement officer. Isn't that the real question? What your duties are, rather than whether culturally it's appropriate to cut ties with somebody who's an alleged criminal?
No, I'm saying I was responding to your question. The commissioners, I was responding to the question that why did you take his calls or give him the contact details of the former minister? I was responding to that. I was not responding to me as a senior police officials not to answer the phones. And then over and above that, when the phone rings, you answer. But I've already dealt with the issue of me cutting ties with Mr. Matlala. I don't know how many times must I respond to this question.
I'm afraid we're going to keep coming back to this question. Let's go back in the chats. Sorry, did you have a question?
Yes. Even if, commissioners, this question comes back, the answer will never change, because I don't want here to come and lie before the commissioners. When I leave here, I want to go home and sleep in peace, because I told the truth that is within me, that I know. Lying will haunt me when I won't fall asleep. Thank you, commissioners.
General, you see, there are different contexts, and those different contexts may lead to the same issue. For example, questions were asked around the 5th of March, and questions were asked around the texts that have just been dealt with now, around page 60 to page 62. Questions were asked about the texts from page 28 to 60. But there it was just a reference to that collection of texts without dealing with the individual texts. So there may be, I do not know, there may be a whole lot of other questions within that broader context that keep taking us back to this question. How, in the face of all this, can you be saying that is giving the answer that you are giving? So what I'm saying is, please be patient. The likelihood is that there are going to be lots more questions that lead to this very point, based on whatever else reference may be made to in the documentation that we have. So just please be patient. You are going to be asked, or at least let me say there is a likelihood that you will be asked a lot more questions that take us back to this very point that you say you have responded to. So just be patient. My kids would say, please chill.
Thank you, Commissioner. Advice taken.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. So we're going to go back now to earlier in the chats. And it's clear that you meet with Mr. Matlala quite regularly. Isn't that so?
We met when we agreed that we're going to meet, yes.
And that was regularly? It wasn't once or twice, it was quite a number of times.
Correct.
Correct. And I'm not going to go to those that took place before 5 March because, well, let's take it on your version, that it was only on 5 March, that you had serious concerns. So I'm going to take it just from 5 March. Before I go to the meetings, on page 28 of the WhatsApp conversation, again, that's file 1 of 3. Page 28.
I am there.
You forward this news report to Mr. Matlala where General Mkunazi, it's a report saying that General Mkunazi has indicated that he is not interested in contending for the top Hawks job. Right?
Yes.
You send that to him. And your reason for sending this to him is what again?
My reason was that this message is nothing else more than the two friends sharing news clips, articles about matters.
But you don't share news clips every day. You don't share just any news clip. You share a news clip that you think the other person would be interested in. Isn't that so?
It's not a question of another person would be interested in. You just share.
You just share it even though you don't think the person you're sending it to would be interested in it.
Correct. It does happen.
That's what you do.
It does happen.
Why would you share with somebody a news article if you don't think they'd be interested in it?
If you are one of my contacts that I am talking to, it does not matter whether you are interested or not interested. I will share with you whatever I deem to share with you.
Okay, so this had nothing to do with any interest on your part or Mr. Matlala's part of the content. It was just sharing it for the sake of sharing.
The interest in which sense? Can I get clarity?
Interest in the content of the media article.
Look, the content of the media article, the general made it very much clear he never applied for the DPCI head post. And over and above that, he even indicated when I read here that it will never make any difference. He is going to work with his contract, and he got a year before it ends. So I was just sharing with him. Remember, I indicated yesterday that a lot of the people that I know in Pretoria, maybe I must say I was born in Pretoria, Commissioners. I grew up in Pretoria. I went to KZN 5 years ago, and a couple of months, Now, when I come to Pretoria, and not even Mr. Matlala, other people in the communities, my schoolmates and everything, I said they were applauding the working relationship of myself and General Mkhwanazi. And I was also comfortable to work with General Mkhwanazi. I was never comfortable. And we achieved. I contributed, and General Mkhwanazi is a general that always, when he wants something, he will tell you straight when we deal with operations and so forth. And he's very much fond of operations. So it is not a question of you send it because the other person has got interest in whatever message or you are sending to them, like this newspaper clip.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Did
Can
you
I-
have a question, Commissioner?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. General, this article is from ENCA on the day. Now, it wasn't the only news item on ENCA when you were watching it at the time. Why send this and nothing else instead of another story that was being reported? Why do you choose? How do you choose this? Because you share articles with your friends in social context. Why pick this one to Mr. Matlala?
It just happened, commissioners. We were just sharing. Remember, Matlala was also one of the people who admired our coordination and successes that were achieved in KwaZulu-Natal. I just shared it.
So you share, I think let's be clear about why you shared it. You shared it because Matlala admired what you do with General Mkhwanazi, or you just shared randomly when you had no reason to believe he will be interested in this story?
It is randomly sharing. And then over and above, I was just saying he was part of the people who was also admiring the good work that was done in KwaZulu-Natal. But this was a random one, Commissioner.
So it appears on a public platform,
Yes.
which Mr. Matlala would have had access to because he was not arrested at this date, so he would have had access to it in the same way, unless you have reason to believe at that day that he may not have had access to it. There has to be a special reason why you pick this article, which is widely available to every South African who has a TV on ENCA. Why you choose to send it to Mr. Matlala? It cannot be that it's a random send. Can be. Can be.
I hear you, Commissioner, but that is it is. That it is. That is what it is. I think I have indicated is one of those randomly sent, and then it's not always that an individual will be privy or will be able to see certain things. Even if these things are on TV, even sometimes things are on the social media platforms. It's not always that.
Yeah, but you had no reason to think Mr. Matlala would not have seen this on ENCA.
I don't know.
You just wanted to make sure he sees it. That's why you sent it.
No, not in that context, Commissioner.
So what do you mean when you say it's not every day that people will be privy to everything? You were covering a situation where, on your version, where he may not have seen it because it's not they don't see everything every day.
Commissioner, it's your good self who was saying what was the reasons for me sending this to Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
I'm saying it's a randomly sending, and the commissioner said Matlala should have seen this on TV because it was in the public TV. Based on that, I'm responding that I don't think it's everybody who's watching TV. I don't know whether you watch TV or what. I just send it randomly, Commissioner.
Okay. I want to suggest to you that you sent it because you knew it would be of particular interest to him to know that General Mkwanazi is not going to be the National Commissioner because he's not going to apply. You knew he had that kind of interest in the topic. That's why you sent it, and that's the only reasonable explanation for why you would send this article to him.
For him to be National Commissioner?
Not National Commissioner, Head of Hawks.
Head of DPCI, I do apologize. You knew that, that's what I'm putting to you, proposing to you. You knew that Mr. Matlala has an interest in who's going to be the next DPCI head. You knew that he had an interest in knowing that General Mkwanazi will not be that person because he's not applying. You needed to tell him that this man is not going to be the DPCI because you knew he was interested in that topic. Anything else that you tell us that it was a random send, it's not true, it's improbable. It's not true, it doesn't make sense that you would send a randomly so specific an article.
Commissioners, we never discussed the issue of appointments in the police, me and Mr. Matlala.
Right.
Never. And the issue of that, I knew that Mr. Matlala was interested in who's going to be head of the DPCI. I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know. Because that was a post that was advertised externally.
Yes.
For any person who meets the requirement of the post.
Yes.
You apply if you are interested.
No, we're not talking about the application. Interrupt you because I'm trying to get us to use the time effectively. We're not talking about general applications. We're talking about, I've proposed to you why I think you sent this to him. It's because you knew. That's all I'll say.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
General, the simple point is this. The day before, you became aware that the Hawks were investigating Mr. Matlala. The following day, you sent him an article that shows that General Mkwanazi is not interested in the position of head of Hawks. So those two are linked. It's not random.
For me, they are not linked, Commissioner.
General, could you turn to the next page, please? So, as I said, it will go through your meetings post 5 March. So this is the first arrangement to meet. And this is on the 10th of March. Do you see at the bottom of the page, you say, see you at 8 p.m.
Correct, Commissioners?
And then you turn over the page. Sorry, that was sent in the morning at 6:27. Mr. Matlala replies, sure, with a thumbs up. And then at 7:58 p.m. you say, I'm here.
Yes, Commissioner.
That was 10th of March last year. Where would that meeting have taken place?
Normally, I was meeting with him in Mainland Maine.
Mainland Maine.
Correct, Commissioner.
It's a hotel.
Yes.
Is that a regular place that you have meetings?
Correct.
Always with Mr. Matlala in the same place? Or do you meet him in different places?
Most of the time I was meeting him there, Commissioners. I wanted to check the date when I take my phone. What date was it? Day of week was it? Yes, Commissioners.
You mean you would have included it in your diary, your meeting? You said you were checking the date. Is that you checking your diary?
No, I'm checking the calendar on the phone, Commissioner. Okay. I've never documented any meetings or dealings with Mr. Matlala. If I did that, it was going to be easy for me to respond to the Commission. Okay. No, I didn't. I was checking this date of that I said I'm here, the 10th. Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, so that was at 7:58. And then did you have that meeting?
I believe so. Normally, when I arrived So let me leave the issue of normally. I believe the meeting might have taken place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you recall how long it lasted?
Come again.
How long would these meetings last when you met?
That I can't determine. It depends on what we are talking and other things. Sometimes the meeting will take us 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it might go to 30 to 40 minutes. Sometimes it's just greetings, because there where we were meeting, commissioners, his business offices is just not far from there. It's a walking distance.
So you would arrange to meet, but you would arrange to have a physical meeting only for about 15 minutes.
It's possible we were doing that, and it's doable, commissioners.
It's just not very common to arrange to have a physical meeting for somebody just for 15 minutes.
Commissioner,
That's just, you can comment if you don't. That's
commissioners, if it is not possible for the advocate, but for some of us it's possible.
That same evening, so an hour at 9:03, an hour after you were due to meet, you send him a document. Do you see that?
I can see that, commissioners.
Okay. So when you sent him this, were you still in the meeting, or was it just after the meeting?
I think it should be after. I believe it's after.
Okay. So this document is at page 65 of the same bundle. And it goes on to page 285. Do you see that?
I see that, commissioners.
It's a very hefty set of documents. We'd agree.
It's a long document, commissioners.
It's this docket that we were talking about yesterday, what we call the Nangi docket.
Commissioners, this is a docket that was opened by Nangi and other people that were with him in Gauteng, Beaufort West. This docket is investigated in Gauteng because when cases are open against members of the police, IPIT will be the investigator. So this docket, it has never reached my office. I only picked it up there through the media space, and over and above that, there is a civil claim in relation to this docket against General Mkhonas and other members there. If you look this thing properly, the mere fact that I've sent this document to him, I saw the affidavit of Mr. Nangi, of which I said it yesterday. I am repeating it again, that I saw that they are staying in the same place. Then I sent it to just sensitize him that there is this gentleman of this nature staying in your own.
So where did you obtain the docket? This is the docket of Bedford View Police Station.
Yes.
Where did you obtain the docket?
I'm saying it was in the public domain.
Where in the public domain? How did you find it?
I'm not 100% sure, because on one of my, let me check, bundle of documents. Because the very same owners of these documents and everything, you'll see that all these documents, it was an application before the High Court by Mr. Nangi and his associate.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
But this is the contents of a police docket that is under investigation.
A content of a police docket under investigation in the public domain.
Where in the public domain did you find it?
I'm saying, I'm looking at my file, I'll tell you now. Because it was already on that very same day in the public domain. Just bear with me, commissioners. I think it is S6. I think it's S6. The file is file 1, annexures witness bundle. I think so. I just want to be 100%.
Are you sure, General?
I'm looking at it. I said I think.
So are you looking at S6? I'm just waiting for you.
I'm still checking, Commissioner. Just bear with me.
Yes, that's fine. I'll give you time.
All I'm trying to say, I want to rephrase my answer. This issue of this document was already in the public domain, but I believe I got it from the media. But I wanted to showcase that, but it seems my S5, it shows that this thing was already in the public domain, but this document is not actually a case docket, but they depicted a case number of Bedford View, but these are High Court documents. It's documents that were served in the High Court in relation to a civil claim. But when you look at that case docket, the case number that they wrote there, and then on your left-hand side, it is a SAPS official stamp that depict Bedford View SAPS.
Yes, I'm not asking you about that. We have that. We have the docket. We looked at it. I confirmed that that is from the Bedford View Police Station. I'm asking. You said it was available in the public domain. You said you'll take me to where. Yeah. I'm asking you, where is it?
I can't 100% recall. It can be on the media platform in terms of either a WhatsApp or whatever, but I can't recall, but I know this thing was in the public domain. I wouldn't want to say here, because my challenge was the issue of my gadgets, as I indicated earlier, because I went to double check there. But this document was in the public domain. I even further said the other one in Mpumalanga also did publish his statement, who was with them, as well as the interview. But I don't want to say in the News 24 or in, but I believe it should be between. I got it to know about it via WhatsApp or on the News 24. So I can't recall 100%.
So now you can't recall. First you said
Yeah.
we'll find it here in S6. It's not in S6. S6.
Chairperson, perhaps maybe I can assist the Commission. Major General Senona should perhaps just look at the statement. It's S5 of the statement. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Mafisa.
Okay, can you show me in S5 where it is, please?
Sorry, Commissioner?
Your counsel has assisted you by taking you to the annexure to look at.
To S5.
Yes, so where in S5 do we find the contents of this docket that you shared?
Do you have S5?
S5.
Do you have your annexures?
Correct,
Thank you.
Commissioner. Yes.
S5, which starts at page 94.
Yes, correct, Commissioner. Yeah. Hence, earlier I was saying, this information in relation to this docket was already in the public domain on the 10 10th of March.
Can you show me where in S5 its dockets are?
Can we go to page 97?
97, yes?
Paragraph from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes?
Can I read it?
Yes?
News 24 has seen signed affidavits by Ning and Bryce that were due to be submitted in court in support of their bail applications. That is now, it reminded me that I think it was there when I sent it, because these people, they just posted these things there. I did send it. It is not actually a police docket. It is affidavits with attachments that they were going to submit in the High Court. Thank you, Commissioners.
The affidavit, if you want to call it that, is not in this S5. This is a news report where News 24 is saying that they have seen affidavits. They don't post those affidavits in this article. They don't link to it, for example.
The question is, where did you find it?
That's my question, but it's not in S5.
I'm saying, in relation to this document here, already these affidavits, News 24 has seen it. And then I believe that I got it from the News 24, and if not, it should be a WhatsApp. So, but this was already there. It is not a docket, a police docket that I have sent to Mr. Matlala. It is not a police docket.
It's affidavits in a complaint.
It's affidavits and attachments.
Yes.
You will realize when you look into that documents, there's also correspondences between Mr. Nangi's attorneys and the NPA, of which we don't have that in our case docket that we have been investigating of the Kwatukuza case. This is Gauteng, Kwatukuza is KZN.
Okay, I'm not sure what question you're answering. I'm saying to you, where did you get the affidavit that you shared? You said you got it at S5. S5 is a report from News 24 where they say they've seen affidavits and they are reporting on the contents, but they don't make those affidavits available. So you couldn't have got it from here. So my question is, where did you get it?
I said either here or over WhatsApp from somebody. Then I also said my problem is with my gadgets, because I don't want to make something that I cannot substantiate. But what I want to say, this is my response, Commissioners.
And your purpose for sharing it with Mr. Matlala, I hear you say that, why did you need to share the contents of that affidavit? Because the article itself provides the information you wanted to convey to him. Isn't that so?
I shared with him, and I indicated yesterday to sensitize him that there is this person in his area where he's staying that was arrested for kidnapping, extortion, and then he was released. He must just be careful, him and the wife and the children. He must just be careful and take more precaution on that. That is the reason why I sent it to him. That's why you say, if you say, why have you sent it? I've already indicated this yesterday.
Yes, you could have sent him the media report, but you didn't send him that. You sent him the affidavits. Why didn't you send him the media report?
I don't know. I don't have an answer why I never sent him the media reports. But these documents are documents that they utilize to file. In the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development to institute civil claims against the police.
Okay. So it comes back again to this question of your role and your position, sharing these kind of documents with members of the public. even if it were, and we don't know that it was, as you say, circulating in the public domain because you have not been able to show us that, why do you become part of the circulation and distribution process? Shouldn't you, in your position, refrain again from that conduct?
I don't think sensitizing a person about a individual who's residing within the same vicinity, it has to do with the office that I'm holding. That it was just a fair sensitization of Mr. Matlala in relation to that individual and the things that this person was arrested for.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying you could have done that by sending him the media report and not sharing the affidavits with all of those annexures, some of which are very sensitive. That's the distinction I'm making. Do you understand? Do you understand the distinction?
I hear what you are saying. You say, why I never sent them only the newspaper clip.
Yes, because the newspaper clip would have served the function of sensitizing him.
I believe by then the decision that I've taken is to send him whatever I was having.
Right.
Not necessarily to distinguish that I must send this or this. I sent him whatever I was having.
General,
So,
sorry, just look at page 65 again.
I'm looking at it, Commissioner.
Do you see that it's a police document and it has a sub-stamp on it?
On the left, I've indicated that it's got a stamp of the SAPS.
So this is a subs document.
But on top, Commissioner, it is written, South African Police Services and Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Then underneath, there is this date stamp of the police, affidavit, RIF, criminal charges, kidnapping, extortion, theft, assault, intention to do grievous bodily harm, all those things. And then it says, in the matter between, there's complainants, 2 of them, and then there's a list of people
General,
that are listed there.
Do you want to answer my question? But bear in mind that I can read, so you don't have to read for me. I'm saying, do you accept that this is a subs document?
For me, it is not, although it has this stamp. These are documents that were utilized for civil claim.
So you're saying this is not a subs document?
I'm saying these documents, according to me, are documents that were utilized for civil claim.
No, I'm not asking you where they were used. I'm saying this is a subs document bearing a subs stamp. That's the reason why it would have that stamp, because it's a subs document.
If it is a subs document, Commissioner, we index such subs documents differently than what is happening here.
So you're saying this is not a subs document?
I do not know, because as I'm trying to explain, the Commissioner says you can't say this. The Commissioner wants me to say it's a subs document. A statement of a police document differs from this one. They differ. They're not having this a preamble and the way this one is being crafted. Hence, I've got a difficulty in believing that this is a subs police docket.
Okay. Let's move on. Did you consider it appropriate to share with a private citizen such as Mr. Matlala a document that shows that Mr. Nangi and Mr. Brides have lodged complaints against members of the SAPS? I won't mention their names, but you see them on page 66. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Do you consider it appropriate to share with Mr. Matlala a document that shows that Nangi and Brides have lodged complaints against members of the SAPS? What does that have to do with Mr. Matlala?
When I read the statement of Mr. Nangi, I saw that he is residing in midstream, Centurion. That area, that midstream security complex, Mr. Matlala is also residing there. I send it based on the statement that this gentleman is staying there and he has committed kidnapping where they have demanded a ransom of 35 million. And then the case was withdrawn. I didn't even say the case was withdrawn against them or what, but the purpose of me sending this because of this affidavit was to sensitize him to be careful of this gentleman.
But you are sending him details of the subs members with their ID numbers and telephone numbers. That's what appears on page 66. Do you see that there are ID numbers of people there with their cellular phone numbers, with the stations where they are based?
I see only
What
one.
interest does Mr. Matlala have in this?
Commissioner, I see only one ID number.
Do you not see the 7521 ID number? Why do you say you only see one?
Can I be assisted? Where is the another one?
Do you see the top one is 8304 on page 66?
I see now.
Yes.
I see now. Commissioner, if I can respond, when I read this affidavit, I never read the entire file. I read this affidavit and then I sent it.
I'm going to try to save time. The point is simply this. If all you wanted to do was to warn Mr. Matlala about this person who lives in the midstream estate, the newspaper article does that. There was no need for you to send subs documents that has details of subs officers to Mr. Matlala, because that has got nothing to do with Mr. Matlala.
I hear you, Commissioner.
So it was wrong to do that.
Maybe it's a fault that I've done. I didn't read the entire thing to see what exactly is inside, so that maybe I must be selective to say, let me send only this one.
General, did you have reason to believe that Mr. Matlala doesn't know that Mr. Nengi lives in that estate with him, that he's his neighbor? Because I understand you to say that you saw from these documents that Mr. Nengi lives in midstream and you wanted to warn your friend. Did you have reason to believe that he doesn't know that he lives in midstream?
What I believe, Commissioner, is that this man is dangerous. The issue of me believing that he didn't know or knew, no, it never pitched up. What pitched up in my mind was the mere fact of the crimes that this man was picked up for, arrested for.
So you just wanted to warn him what? What were you warning him of?
There is this guy who's committing kidnapping for a ransom, residing in that security complex.
Yeah, exactly my question. You say you wanted to warn him that this person who has now had charges relating to kidnapping withdrawn against him, you wanted to tell him that he lives in that complex. And that's exactly my question. Why did you think Mr. Matlala doesn't know that this man lives in that complex?
It is because we never talked about this person before this date, before that. And then I only sent him this thing to say there is this person. He might have known, but he might have not told me. But the purpose of me informing him was to sensitize him to be careful. Because
well, you have talked about Mr. Nangi, because in the meeting with General Mkwanazi already, Mr. Nangi's name, according to your statement, did come up.
My statement, Commissioner, assist me with the paragraph.
Where you tell us what happened in the apartment, you tell us that General Mkwanazi said to Mr. Matlala, I will assist you if you can get Mr. Nangi. No? Am I remembering your evidence wrong?
That's not in paragraph 64.
Sorry?
It's not in the statement, I believe. It's in other parts of the record.
Is it in other parts of the record? Okay. I will leave it. No, hold on. Let me look at my 64. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm going to leave it. I do apologize. I didn't mean to mislead you about this. But I think to still make the point, and Ms. Hassim, stop me if I'm anticipating a line that you were going to explore. In the ad hoc committee transcripts that you have, Mr. Matlala does say that his child and Mr. Nangi's child go to the same school. They live in the same complex, which suggests that Mr. Matlala knew that Mr. Nangi lives in the same complex. That's why I asked the question, why did you have reason to think he doesn't know that Mr. Nangi lives in that complex with him?
Thanks, Commissioner. I said he might have known him, or he might not have known him. And it is to sensitize him about this person who did this type of a crime, Commissioner.
Okay. And I think yesterday you said part of your job as a police is also to prevent crime or something. That's part of your justification why you did this. Did you warn anyone else about Mr. Nangi's release as a police officer, or you preferred your friend over everyone else and didn't bother to tell the residents of Midstream that there is this man in your midst? Be careful.
After his release, we informed the what is this team? There is a team a national team that is dealing with the kidnappings, where you have crime intelligence and some other police officials, even some of the hawks. So we informed crime intelligence because they were part and parcel of who assisted us when we arrested this Mr. Nangi. And again,
so your answer is you did not inform anyone else of the residents of Midstream. You informed only Mr. Matlala in Midstream.
Because I know him staying there.
So your answer,
the other people, I don't know.
Your answer is only Mr. Matlala got the benefit from you of being warned about Mr. Nangi. No one else in that estate got the same benefit.
Commissioner, I only know Mr. Matlala.
Yes. No. Your answer is yes or no, General.
Not a question of a benefit. I inform him because I know he's staying there and I only know him.
Yes, so you informed only Mr. Matlala. Can you
yes.
give me a yes or no answer,
in
please?
That complex, yes, because I know only him.
Thank you.
Thanks. And just to be clear, you sent it to him to warn him because these individuals were released. Is that why you wanted to warn him that they were released, or that Mr. Nangi was released?
I didn't say that, Commissioner. I warned him that there is this gentleman who's staying in your complex who was arrested for this type of crimes, kidnapping, extortion.
So you warned him that there was this gentleman who was arrested for these type of crimes, but the arrest took place the year before.
Yes.
So you didn't warn him then?
No.
No. But you saw fit to warn him when they were released. So why didn't you warn him? If that's your concern, why didn't you warn him at the time that that he was arrested?
I'm saying after I've seen this affidavit I've read, I realized then that he's staying in the same complex. Before, I didn't know where this man is staying. That is why I warned him, Commissioners. That's what I've said.
You didn't know where Mr. Nangi lived before then?
Correct.
But this arrest and this case, this is the Kwadukuza case. Is this the same case?
Kwadukuza.
This was under your command, wasn't it?
It is under my command, but this is how it works there. General Senona doesn't read dockets. He is at a strategic position. And when suspects are arrested, General Senona doesn't demand their address and particulars. They will only say, report suspect, Mr. Sorensen, has been arrested, Kwatukuza case so will be appearing in court on this day. They don't put addresses of suspects and everything. Then the investigation continues. NPA will come on board and assist in terms of external stakeholder. Addresses where the suspects are residing, they don't tell General Senona. The investigators there at the ground level, they deal with this type of issues. So I happen to pick it up when I read this affidavit that was there on the public domain. I see midstream Centurion. That is where it clicked, and that is why I did what I did, Commissioners.
So you had no knowledge of this, any of the details of this arrest, where he was arrested, and none of that. You knew none of that until this media report.
They were arrested somewhere in Joburg. It's just that I don't have my stuff with me. I think you gave me something that my people were giving me. Let me have a look here, Commissioners. I think there is this document. It's called EXH that you gave us yesterday morning. This one. I wrote this information note depicting all the things that have been done by the team up until the arrest and the attendance before court. So eventually, I don't think in this report there was any address of any of the arrested suspects. So I didn't know where the suspect was residing. And normally, when suspects are arrested, we are not provided with their addresses and so forth. Thank you, Commissioners.
We'll come back to that exhibit. You still haven't explained why it is, if you wanted to inform Mr. Matlala of this, why the newspaper article was not sufficient.
I think I've already given an answer, Commissioners.
I don't think you have.
I did. You can replay the recording.
Well, can you repeat it? Why was the newspaper article not sufficient? Why did you need to send all of these?
I said at that
this
point.
Police docket.
Oh, sorry. Apologies.
You can answer now.
I said at that point, after when I read this, I just sent it to Mr. Matlala after I've seen this. I think also the Commissioner Kumalo asked me the same question earlier.
Chairperson, my apologies, evidence leader, for the objection, but perhaps maybe I must make it clear to the commissioners that the newspaper article is actually an article that the legal team found online. We can obviously, Major General Senona can answer the question whether he was privy to the newspaper article at that time outside of the affidavits. However, I must make it clear to the commissioners that the newspaper article that has been attached as S5 is something that the legal team found online.
So, well, that makes it a bit worse, because then the explanation that you've given was that it was already in the public domain and that was S5 and there it is and that's how you circulated it. But that's not the case, because it's your legal team that found the news article and provided it to you to include in your statement.
Sorry, Chairperson, I would just like to respond to that. So now I'm perhaps trying to see how constrained I am, just to explain to the commissioners.
Yeah, the problem is that the objection also gave evidential material to the witness. I cannot suggest how perhaps you could have or should have raised the objection, but now the witness already knows what you say about that document, and he may now respond in accordance with what you say on something evidential, if you see what I mean. But as I say, I'm not sure how you should have phrased your objection. Yes. Perhaps it's something that could have been left for re-examination. I don't know. But now, potentially now, it affects how the witness may respond. But you wanted to respond to Mrs.
Yes, perhaps maybe I must explain. The question that was initially asked by the evidence leader was the proof of the leak of these affidavits. And so when Major General Senona went to S5 and read that particular sentence, in the News 24 article it had stated that the affidavits, News 24 had gained sight of the affidavits. So the statement itself was aligning itself to what was, the News 24 article was aligning itself to what has been said in the statement. And I was merely just directing Major General Senona as to the proof in relation to that particular statement, which can be found in S5. Regarding, I think, the issue now, which is it's providing some sort of an evidential response which might be against Major General Senona. My statement was purely just that, to say that S5 is evidence of what he has already stated in his statement. It was purely that.
At this stage, I'm by no means suggesting that what you've said may be against the general. I was just making an observation at this stage. Yeah. Thanks, Ms. Mafisa.
Sorry, Chairperson. I just had a chat with my attorney. And I think the question that was posed, it made it seem as if Major General Senona had possession of that particular article at that particular time. So the objection was also just to make the commissioners aware that if we are relying on that particular article...
Yeah, you see, what you say now, actually... Because earlier I said, I do not know how you should have dealt with or presented your objection. But what you have just said now actually tells me how you should have handled it. You should, in re-examination, have asked the General, at the time that you shared X information with Mr. Matlala, did you have in your possession this document? If you see what I mean.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Hassim, you have heard what Ms. Mafisa says, but what I'll say is please continue.
Thank you, Chair. It doesn't really